Good morning, Timothy. Here we are, tucked away in our back section of our shop, and anyway, we brought it in about 5:30 yesterday afternoon, and we got a chance to take a look at it real quick, and but I didn't get a chance to do a video. So we did get a surprise, and that is that it's a single plank hull. That's just about a 3/8 of 7/16 inch thick plank of mahogany. The other one that we did, which was a little later model, had an inner layer of plywood, two diagonally planked plywood inner layers, and then a thinner plank on the outside of that. So that's not a big deal. Matter of fact, it makes it a little easier to repair, maybe. But there was, I think there was a joint right here, but oddly, I don't see any screw holes right in here. So I'm not positive about that. But anyhow, one of the reasons probably for failure was you see that this is 5200 sealant, and they just put a squirt on there on the batten, and they did not cover the entire batten. So any water that got in here would create rot. Now, we don't see any rot down here, but the same thing, if they did the same thing up here, then any water that came in through the plank seams while you're underway would get caught behind the boards, between the plank and the batten, and cause that to happen. So and this does not look like white oak. It doesn't even look like rotted white oak. So I think there was probably some ash in here. Somebody got a hold of a wrong piece of wood. It looks to me like we'll investigate that further, because we'll have to cut this piece back to where we got good wood, and when we cut it back to where we got good wood, we can double check that. But I'm 99% sure right now that that's not white oak. But before we get all upset about that, we'll double check that further. Yeah, up here it would be nice. There's some trailer modifications I'm suggesting also, and if you decide you want to do that, we'll price it for you. But I would put what we call target bunks. I would add an extra cross member. This cross member needs a drop in it, because as you can see, you're not sharing the weight with this other cross member a little farther up. And then so I would do that so that these two cross members can share weight. And then I would add another cross member similar to that one right here, about halfway between this one and this one up here. Let me back up a little bit and maybe even turn my phone sideways. I'd add a cross member between this one and this one up here, and I might add it a little closer to the front and put target bunks in. And if I can show you a target bunk, let's see if we've got one that's got a target bunk on it. This would be kind of like a target bunk, where the bunks come farther forward and help center the boat as you're putting it on. And we can make that modification. If you want us to price that for you, we'll price it for you. I'm not really trying to upsell you, but I just think it'll protect your boat better. So this looks like, no big deal to fix. This is no big deal to fix, and this is, I think we can do it for what we said we could do it for. We haven't got it off the trailer yet on casters. We'll be doing that maybe later today. Certainly we'll be doing it on Monday if we don't get it done today. But we'll be able to investigate the keel further. And one thing I think I might have mentioned it in my comments earlier, that a lot of times, like when we do this, we're going to end up with a shiny place on the new plank if we use the varnish we typically use. This varnish looks like it could be a satin varnish instead of a gloss varnish. And then it's pretty, it's pretty rough. Not rough from a quality standpoint, but it is pretty, I think, like I say, I think it's a satin varnish. And what we can do is we can put satin on it, because even if it's not a satin varnish, if it was a gloss varnish originally, if we put a satin varnish on that, that'll help hide the fact that we did repairs. It should make it more consistent looking. Over here, of course, we're going to route out this plank. Now, that's a long plank, so I'm picturing routing from right about here back to this joint. We would take that plank out, we'd do a short plank. You have some other short planks on this boat already. On the other side, I was just looking to see if there's any short planks on this side. I don't think you have any short planks on this side. But we've got some short planks on the other side where some repairs were done near the transom on the other side. And I'll show you those. So if you wanted a short plank, I don't think that would be a big deal. You have a short plank here, and you have another short plank right back here. Those have been, somebody's kept up the boat very nicely with the repairs, and they did the short plank deal. The bottom of those two is a little shorter than we like to do, but and then right here, we have some choices about where we begin and end the plank, but that's we don't really need to take a whole plank off, I don't think. I think maybe we would short plank from back here to something. We don't want to line it up with this joint. Either go a little farther forward or a little farther back. We would probably go farther back. We'd probably back in this area right here for a short plank. Now let me try to stand up here. They beat me up pretty bad at physical therapy this morning, but the guys told me, they said, so the other thing we normally do, we would normally make our repairs and do a maintenance coat to the side, on the side, to even that all out. Of course, we're doing a glossy varnish as opposed to, so look at your lights reflecting in your varnish right here, and you see how they're kind of, the lights up above are kind of foggy, the reflection is. So let me find a boat that we have varnished. Now, we varnished this one a few years ago, oh no, this one's a fairly fresh varnish. So if we look at lights reflecting, or just even the reflection of like that step stool, for example, you see how crisp the lines are, and that's what you would see. That's what you look at that, and you can kind of determine the quality and condition of your varnish by looking at how those lights reflect. See if I can find a light reflecting in this one. I can't. The overhead lights aren't reflecting on the side of this one too well, because just where I'm at. But you can see a big difference in the clarity of the reflection. So that's, again, I know you're on a time constraint, and the time budget may be more difficult than the money budget. So it may be something that you would want to entertain next winter. is maintenance coats. On the top, I'm told that there's crazing up there. And crazing is a painter's term for, it's kind of spider cracking. It's, see if I can find it, see if I see it. Oh yeah. So you're beginning to see it. Early stages. So it almost looks like there was a spider web up here and somebody's wiped that spider web down and made it made it stick to the surface. Those are actually microscopic cracks in your varnish. And the next stage of failure of your varnish, and that's just from solvents leaving it, but the next stage of failure of your varnish is that it's going to start to peel. Now you probably got another season, but the sooner that you can get some maintenance coats or a maintenance coat on your surface, the better. And you can see it back here. You see it in the reflection. That's called crazing. So anyway, that's something you might want to do. And I understand that there's I think there were the guy saw some vents that were broken or something on the in the floors. So we'll take care of those also. And and then I know there was some engine work that you wanted us to do. Looks like we've got no, it's fine. I thought that just the angle I was at, I thought that was bent. It's not. It's fine. So anyhow, that's our assessment, the quick assessment, quick and dirty. And so we can get it off the trailer. It's about all we know. And I'll be calling you, or you can call me very soon. I'll get this uploaded and get it sent to you. Thanks.